So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight I'm joined by almost all the band members from the band Druparia. They're a melodic death metal from Ohio, and they're releasing their full-length album on December 27th, so 2 days after Christmas, which it can be smart or so yeah. So first of all, how are you guys tonight?
Doing
Yeah,
good.
doing good, doing
Good.
good. Yeah, how about
Good.
yourself?
I'm pretty good here. So tell me, tell us your name and what you do in the band. I think we lost someone.
Uh-oh.
He'll,
Uh,
he'll
Hang on
return.
one sec. Hang on 1 second, guys.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
yeah. So
Well,
say once we get him, like the people who are like Noah, like what do you do in the band, man?
Okay. My name is Noah. I play the drums and I also played the tambourine on one of our tracks as well.
Yeah, that's very metal of you.
Yep.
To play the tambourine. Okay, so Noah and Tyler, what are you doing in the band, man?
I'd play guitar and no other, well, I don't think any other extra instruments. So, yeah, just
Okay,
guitar.
okay. What about you, Josh?
I'm Josh. I also play guitar in the band.
Okay, and last but not least, Kyle.
Bass and backing vocals.
Awesome. So yeah, so uh, the album, I listened to the album, and I see when I was listening to this, I could tell that you guys really are influenced by Dark Tranquility, Old in Flames, more Principium Est. I think that's how you say
Yeah.
it. And the album's called The River Above.
Mhm.
So yeah, so tell us a little bit about group because I know you had an EP in 2020. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about the background of the band.
We kind of formed from like, uh, so I'll be honest, everybody except Noah, I've been in a band with previously. So we just kind of taken people from different bands and uh just sort of one day I think Kyle, did you call me like on the
I
phone
think
one day?
I think we were like chatting because the band I was doing at the time, and I was trying to basically recruit Noah to play drums for that band. And this was a completely separate band from what Druparia is. Basically, the band just kind of imploded on itself. And I was talking to Tyler, and I basically, said, "Hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on?" He sent me some um, stuff he had done in like pro guitar, like tablature and stuff like that, and some other um, like recordings he had done by himself at his house at the time. And I said, "Hey, this is really cool. I know a guy who's a drummer. I'm like, do you want to do something with this?" And it kind of just went from there.
Yeah, I think again to my memory I thought it was like a phone call, which was really weird because I was like,
Because
what's
everybody
going on?
texts nowadays, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
No one talks
I
on the phone. I was like,
I I,
okay, this
re- I
must be.
remember I remember us texting. I mean, we could have talked on the phone, but that was also like 5.5, almost 6 years ago.
Yeah,
So my
yeah.
my
Well,
memory may not be the greatest on that.
yeah, and I remember sending you it's the song we use. It's both on the EP and it's on the new album. Bereavement. That was like one of the
Hmm.
first songs we had running, and it's like our probably most technical song. And like I don't know why I sent that to you first. And I was like, well, how do you feel about this? And I was like thinking because I wasn't sure. I'd never met Noah at this point, and I was like, I don't know if the drummer could do this. Like, what's this is gonna be rough. But I guess if he can't do this one, there's no point showing the other ones or so. So I like sent that, and I remember you saying like, because I think Kyle was the liaison for us for a second before I met Noah, and he said something like, "Oh yeah, he's down for it." I was like, "What?" He's like, he wants to do this. Like, okay, and for a while, so like a lot of these songs kind of been like floating around um with like from like other old bands, like different people that like were jamming with and uh that contributed things and everything. And from like basically kind of like the onset, like even before Druparia, the name kind of came about. Like when so for example, Bereavement started writing in like 2016, and I think
Oh
around that
wow.
time, David said something like he would do vocals if we got a band going. He was just like he was just get a band and I'll do it. And so at that time, we're like, well, we kind of have a band, and asked David. He's like, oh, okay, I'll do it. So we had David on board, and a long time ago, and I think I've told you this story, Josh. Like we sent I think it was Bereavement sent to Josh like a long time ago, and like just to kind of see him like see how he likes the song, how he gauges it. And I remember the first thing he said was just like, "Yeah, this kind of sounds like a lot," and I was like, "Oh, he doesn't like it. Okay, well." I was like kind of trying to see if like, oh, maybe he'll play on this, and I was like, I don't think he likes it, so I won't even bother asking. And so like we went through like several different guitar players like within this time and everything, and finally kind of circled back to Josh. I was like, hey, remember that's I can't remember how it went, but I was like, I sent you this a while ago. What do you think about it now? And like you liked it,
Yeah.
and I was like, I brought up the idea. I don't know, like playing together or whatever, and again brought up the thing. I was like, I didn't think you liked this, so I didn't. It you know wasn't that you were the last one we thought of. You were like one of the first, but it just how it came around. So,
Yeah, I
but
didn't
then
know any of them
yeah,
beforehand. When Josh played his first show, I was busy being 3 years old, so I hadn't started playing drums yet.
It's true.
But I graduated high school in 2018, and like
Oh wow.
the first semester of college, which was like the following October, I was in a grocery store and I saw this like really big scary guy and he was like, "Hey, you should
Oh,
come
here we
see my
go.
band." And I'm like, "Okay." And then like a week later, I was back in the same grocery store and he was like, I saw his band was looking for a drummer and that was Kyle. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you can come out and jam with us." So that's how I met all of them.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. I was working like a security gig for a grocery chain. That's how I ended up meeting Noah. And I've known Tyler since I think 2011 or 2012, somewhere in that ballpark.
yeah,
And um, I've known Josh. I don't think him and I like formally like superly like met in person until this band came about. But I knew of him because when Tyler and I were in a previous band, like in the like early to mid 2010s, Josh and Tyler were also doing a band on the side, and that's how I met Josh through Tyler and everything.
Awesome. And you all came together because of love of like melodic death metal, I assume.
I got love of metal and just I don't know. I mean, just wanted to play together and uh,
Yeah.
people dug the tunes, I guess. So
Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah.
it's funny. Everybody has their own influences, and some people don't like the other person's influences, but we all have that like core set of mellow death
Yeah.
bands that we
I,
all seem to
I
like.
I said it when the first call came in. Noah had a Green Day T-shirt, and then Tyler had a Mon Amarth. I'm like, yeah, those are very different type of bands.
Yeah, I'm
we
rocking Pantera today, I think. Yeah.
Ah, I have my Tool
Uh,
T-shirt today.
Nice.
there you
I've
go.
got
Yeah.
it.
Nice.
I've
Yeah.
got enslaved on today.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
surefire way to derail band practice is to start talking about potential covers because we can never agree
No one.
on
May,
a
may,
song to cover. It's just
main,
You
futile.
have a cover on this album, right? The
We
last
do,
song
we do.
is a
Yeah,
cover for, it says Civil Wars, which you know
yeah,
what? I don't know that song. So
yeah,
I'm like the Violet Hour Civil Wars cover.
yeah.
It's not a Guns N' Roses cover of the
No,
Civil War song.
I would have preferred that.
Actually, I think there's a band doing a cover of that song right now, of Civil War by Guns N' Roses.
I did
Uh,
see something floating online today, and I'm watching a lot of like YouTube reaction videos that I queued up, so
I
I'm gonna have to
hate
look into that.
YouTube reaction videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do love Guns N' Roses though. Slash is the first guitar player that ever made me think like I want to play guitar for sure. And again, I'm
Awesome.
showing my age, you know.
Yeah, well, I think I think we're the same age, man.
Shit.
I'm 38.
You're what?
I'm 38.
No, I'm 47.
Okay.
So yeah, you feel good. You're young, man. So so yeah, you did that cover, and the name of the band, I found Druparia. What does that mean? I didn't Google it.
I can kind of,
Yeah,
cover
go ahead.
that one. So, I don't know, I have a penchant for just, coming up with names and stuff like that, just through reading and stuff I see online. Um, what I remember correctly is that it is a synonym for the blackthorn plant, which I
Oh,
kind of thought was it sounded cool at the time because it reminded me of Agalloch, if you've ever heard of them. Like
oh yes.
their name is based off of a resinous type of wood. So that's, how they got their name, and I kind of just went with something like that. And
Okay.
that's kind of how the band name came about. Is I pushed it out there to Tyler, and he was like, "Hey, that's kind of cool," and we just kind of went with it from there.
And it
Yeah,
looks
I think what
cool in like the lettering that you chose
yeah,
for it, because that's you want a cool looking font for a band. There's
for
nothing
sure.
that can destroy a font, a metal, that like having a corny font that won't go.
Yeah,
Uh,
we definitely wanted it
so
legible too. That was the thing. A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
people, I think to me too, what I liked about the name, like I like the background and everything and the meaning of it, but one, it was just a single word, and two, it
yeah,
wasn't taken.
yeah,
So,
I never heard of. Yeah,
yeah,
I never.
yeah,
That's a good thing. It wasn't taken. Yeah.
yeah,
Every cool band name has like 12 bands on Metal Archives that already have it. So if you can find one that
yeah.
hasn't been taken yet, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
And me and Josh's old band, we were in a band called Mithrius, which was kind of similar thing. Had a word that like he kind of, I don't know, had some meeting with the singer, kind of like threw an I in there and just kind of invented this word, and it was the same thing. It was a single word, not taken, and kind of what I like kind of about the name, you know, is like we can kind of give our own sort of, I don't know, it sounds corny, but like we can define the name of the band and not let the name define us. So it's like,
Mhm.
uh, I don't know, one of my like a big influence of mine is band Silosis, and it's kind of a
Oh
similar
yeah,
thing. Like,
awesome
what is
band.
right? Yeah, like what does Silosis mean? I don't really know. I don't really care. It's the name of the band. That's much as and so it's kind of similar, at least for me, why I like the name Druparia. But
Yeah, it will good looking in shirts like the
yeah,
logo.
yeah.
So I saw the music video that you guys have
Mhm.
for Sever the Roots.
Mhm.
Who's the girl in the video?
So her name's Gabby Ward. She's just a friend. She's been a friend of ours for a while.
She needs a
Yeah.
hug. I don't know. I said the video. I'm like, there's some. She's mad
It
at
was,
something, like the
yeah,
part where she goes in the tree and she's like,
yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny when we were filming this stuff. She's not like an actor like she's not a professional actor or anything. But I was like telling, I was like, man, you like there's a lot of it involved just like breaking stuff and like just smashing things and
you
everything. And she
sold
was
it.
like, yeah, she was like scarily good at it. And I was like telling it to her, and she's like, said something like, this role just involves brooding and smashing things. This was made for me. Like she was like loving it. So,
Yeah. It
uh,
was it was it was tough to find people that like wanted to help with this, and like and when she was up for it, we're like, all right, awesome. But like we had no idea she was going to be an awesome actress, which she was. So it worked out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she sold it. She looked pissed at something.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did that tree do to you, man?
Yeah. We have to give props to Lance, the dude that filmed it and kind of directed it in a way too. I couldn't tell exactly what he was telling her as far as like production notes go, but whatever he was saying to her undoubtedly
Yeah,
helped
there was
get her in the mood.
Was
I'm
that your
blank on
first like proper video?
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh
for this band.
Yeah, we did a
for this
lyric
stuff,
video for Bereavement, but this is the first
yeah.
real music video.
I was involved in a music video like 10 years ago, but I was not to the degree of this. Like this was actually like seeing it from the start to the finish. This is the first one, at least I was a part of. I'll
Yeah, it was
also give
weird.
a shout out. There's a guy, I'm blanking on his last name. His name was Brian. He was kind of like a pseudo director for the like woods shots and everything. So a lot of the kind of
Was
setting the
that in the
mood and
back? Did
everything.
you film that in the backyard of someone, or did you go to like a?
Kind of. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a city park near my house where we practice. And we were trying to come up with a place to do the filming, and I just threw it out as an idea, thinking it would probably get rejected. But when we went back there, Lance, the cameraman director, he looked around, he's like, I can make this work. And everybody that I've talked to, says that it looks like we're like deep in the woods. But in actuality, there's like a baseball diamond to the back of the cameraman, and there's houses above us, and he just kept the camera angles just low
Yeah,
enough
it's all
so that
about
you
the
can't
angle.
tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
impressive. It's
because
definitely
when
a
I do
skill.
my album reviews, I just got two new couches, but my old couch, people said, "Oh, it's so nice." They it was torn apart in some places, and the camera angle showed like you didn't know that it was torn apart. I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank you," but no, but yeah, it's all about the angle. Like
For
I
sure.
could tell,
Yeah.
like maybe it's the backyard of someone. I'm like, I would try to see if you see like kids' toys running around
Yeah.
somewhere. But yeah, the
Yeah.
music video is cool. Sever the Roots. What's the song about?
So I believe so David wrote the lyrics for that one. I think in general it's kind of about like not following the path your parents kind of set for you in life. Like you can kind of go, be your own person kind of thing.
Breaking free
Um,
of generational trauma.
yeah, that was kind of
You don't
the
have to be
meaning
a
I kind of got
lawyer.
from it. Yeah. Yeah, don't be a doctor or a lawyer. Go play in a metal band. Screw what your
Yeah.
parents say. Yeah.
Screw
It's very
Um,
job
lucrative.
security.
yeah. So I think in general, I think that was what it's about. But um, yeah, the we kind of had like a little bit more involvement with the theme in the video, and due to like just finding actors and other kind of restraints, we kind of that was a little bit lost. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I think it's just I don't know some metal girl wandering around the woods breaking stuff is cool.
Yeah, you can't go wrong
Yeah,
with
there
that.
was. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm like, there's a cross. There's something else. I'm like, what made this girl so mad?
Her
Yeah.
But
dad.
it
Her
would be
dad.
funny. Some people like
Right.
were walking around near the park and called out like, "There's this woman with an axe."
We got very lucky because we filmed that at 8 a.m. on a Saturday, and there were
Oh,
houses around, and we played the song through a stereo so that you could like hear it. So we were loud, and we
oh
did,
wow.
several takes, and nobody called the police on us. So shout out to the people of Parma, Ohio, for not calling the cops on our metal band for
They're
playing
like,
at 8
Yeah.
a.m.
they were like, it's a regular Saturday. Some
Yeah.
dudes playing some metal in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. I interviewed a band earlier this year, but from Europe, and they did a music video next to an ocean. And I asked them why there, and they're like, it was cheap.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
because like the song has nothing to do with the ocean. But I don't know. I think the woods is more metal. When I think of the ocean, I think of reggae or 311.
Yeah. Or like
Something like
Enya.
yeah, like but well, unless you're in like a
Yeah.
cold place, then you can be
Yeah.
like a melodic metal band. But I'm sure if it doesn't look cold, I don't know, it doesn't go
Yeah.
with the with the
Well,
themes of metal.
Yeah.
well,
Uh,
it's pretty cold here right now, so we definitely got that going for us.
you got that going on. So you guys are self-releasing this album yourself. So tell me about that because that's a do it yourself. So it's cool, but it's a whole lot of work. So tell me like the process of you guys self-releasing these. Like what formats are you going to have?
I mean, it's going to be, we'll have it be on, all streaming services, downloadable from our Bandcamp, things like that. We have physical copies as well, CDs. Probably not going to have vinyls. Maybe if, I don't know, some label wants to help out with that, maybe we'll talk about it. But we looked into that and it was just going to be way too expensive. So,
Oh, it is
um,
expensive.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I think just the decision to do it like ourselves was kind of uh, simultaneously like out of laziness or like impatient. Like we don't want to wait for someone to just, we don't want to send things out and just wait for things that come up that might not be, we might get responses and they might suck, and then we'd have to start from square one where we could just be like, well, half the stuff we could probably do ourselves, and
Yeah.
but we might not.
Yeah. What you need to do is just send to the record label the video of the girl with the axe. We'll
I
send
think there's
her.
a benefit too from all of us being in previous bands. Like a few of us have contacts and we kind of knew who to reach out to. Like I was friends with a graphic designer that did an album that I was on in 2007, and I reached out and he was still doing his thing. So we kind of like gave him some ideas. Tyler had heard of the artist Mark Erskine. I hope I'm saying his name right, from Sweden, I believe. We had him. We bought some art from him. So we were able to control the entire look of the booklet. We wanted it to look good. I think, we've all seen some bands that sound great, but the packaging and the material
No.
and the aesthetic isn't quite up to the quality of the music. And we took maybe too long recording everything. So we wanted to be just as much of a perfectionist around the album itself and the art as we were about the music, which I think was worth it in the end.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
And
too
on
bad.
that note, since you mentioned the art, that's something that for an independent release, you got the art is really awesome. So let's show the artwork for. I even showed this to my girlfriend who doesn't like metal, and she said, "Oh, it's got a great artwork." I'm like, "But you're not
yeah.
gonna like the music."
That's
So
that's
yeah,
almost every girlfriend, unfortunately.
yeah, well, yeah,
Mark,
no, my
Mark did
girlfriend, but she supports it. I can talk. She's like, talk to the bands.
yeah, Mark did like an awesome. He did our. We didn't commission him for our demo release, but it was a piece that he already had that just fit the theme for that. So we figured we'd hit him up for a commission for this one. He just, I mean, I love his stuff in general, but he just totally knocked it out of the park with this one. Like, I don't know, just the moon and the
It
sky
is a
and all that
beautiful
stuff.
artwork.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's like Josh was saying, just connect like with him and Alex, who did our
Yarborough.
yeah, he did our album, like the design for the booklet and everything. Like he did an amazing job. Everybody that was involved with like the visuals were just totally just like blew us away, really. So can't give them any more, credit and thanks and everything. They did an awesome job.
Yeah, so the name of the album is The River Above. So tell us what you guys did the artist already have this painting, or did you told him an idea of what you
Uh,
wanted?
so and again, this is where I kind of wish David was here because this is he the artist, we actually did commission him to do this. So David had this sort of idea um with I think his main thing was this tree. I'm not 100% sure where that kind of comes from, but he um was thinking about this tree kind of in this kind of wetland river kind of environment. And I did there's something I do like about like album art and everything is like contrasting like if the majority of the piece is some kind of color scheme, there's like one aspect that's like the opposite, and I kind of that's kind of what's going on here. Mostly, most things are kind of these cool colors, these dark colors, and the tree is this really striking kind of gold thing. Um, as far as again, I wish he was here because I'm still not sure what the tree signifies or anything. I don't know. Maybe that's the roots that we're severing and sever the roots. I don't know. Um, but
Maybe it means the
yeah,
light in the darkness.
yeah. I mean, that could be it too. Yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, and for his actual, because again, he wrote the lyrics for all the songs except one. And a lot of them just kind of the meanings are you could they're kind of like up to interpretation, I think, which I like, but it's also hard to be like, oh well, this is what the song means exactly. Um, but I kind of like the visual kind of aspect to like a river above. Like to me, when he said that title, it like reminded me of like I don't know, like the Milky Way galaxy, kind of in the you know in the sky or something like that. So we took that kind of theme where it was like, okay, maybe we can have something where it's like night, uh, have like the sky be some like prominent piece or anything, and just kind of rolled with that. And we kind of just took our big hobbled idea, jumble of ideas and gave them to Mark, and he uh, gave us, a few drafts and everything, and this is basically one of them. And yeah, he did just an awesome job with it.
Yeah, it looks cool. It reminds me, do you guys remember that guy in the infomercials that do the painting and like, here's the happy tree?
Bob Ross.
Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Ross. Yeah, but no, it's really cool. And when I saw, self-release, and I saw the artwork, I'm like, for a self-release band, they didn't cut any corners because that album artwork looks amazing.
Yeah.
So
I really think that's down to Josh personally, because he's kind of got like the attitude within the band that like, hey, if we're gonna do something, don't half-ass it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
You only get to do one debut album, so get it right. When I think of my favorite bands and their debut albums,
Well, let's be honest. Metallica's Kill 'Em All is a great album, but the album cover kind of sucks.
right? That's one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's a hot take. If you look at that artwork today, it's kind of crappy,
Sure.
Yeah.
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 But
It
yeah,
has
no,
nothing to
this
do with their album too. I don't understand where that,
nothing to do with the album, but that
Yeah.
artwork is not that great. But yeah, the artwork for this album is pretty cool. So when you guys, so you decided why the 27th of December?
So
It's the earliest.
might not be the answer you're looking for, but it was the only time we could get in before the end of the year for a show, for an album release show. That was a weekend. So
When is the album release show?
that's on the 27th. So it's at the Foundry Concert Club in Lakewood. So it was that was the day we could get that show, and we're like, you know what, let's pick that for the release.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I probably, it's right between that Christmas New Year's thing, and it could be a double-edged sword where it's like, okay, we could be kind of shooting ourselves in the foot because there's all this stuff happening, with the holidays where people might not be paying attention to it. But on the flip side of that, we could, a lot of people are, in town visiting family, and usually that kind of period between Christmas and New Year's, people are there's like that purgatory where people are just sort of like not sure what to do with themselves, and so maybe this could give them an excuse to come out
And have
Yeah,
fun.
there's a lot of friends that are like, hey, I'm going to be in town over the holidays. We should hang out. And I go, we should hang out. You should buy a ticket to our show, December 27th at the Foundry in Lakewood, Ohio.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be you guys. Who else is gonna be playing that gig?
So we have Blood Coven from Akron. We have the Jotun, who are also from Cleveland, and then we have this newer band called Storm Reaver. I believe they're in the Cleveland area. They're in the Northeast Ohio area. But all bands, with the exception of Storm Reaver, because they're pretty newer, they're friends of ours, and we've been trying to get them on a show for forever. So we're finally like, you know what, we got this. We can finally control, who's playing on the show. Let's get them on. But the other bands we played with are, have all been friends of ours, and played shows with them and everything. And so it's kind of like we just wanted this big kind of like party kind of.
Yeah. So it's a camaraderie and not like a competition of bands.
It's a
Everyone.
very cooperative environment. And
Yeah.
I mean, having been playing shows for 20 years, it wasn't always like that. But yeah, this is like the best time to be in a band in Northeast Ohio, in my opinion, because everybody's trying to help each other out. Everybody keeps each other in mind. If somebody can't play a show, they reach out to one of their buddies and let them know that the slot is open for them to take. And we're always promoting each other. In the music video, all of us are wearing merchandise from other local bands. So it's a very, team, us against the world type attitude and environment up here. And I love that. I've always wanted that.
Yeah, and I think the pandemic really kind of played a role into that as well, because we saw a lot of like venues go under due to
Hmm.
the
Here
the
too,
pan the
everywhere. Yeah.
pandemic. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, I really think there's the camaraderie is there because it's like, okay, well, it's go time. We gotta step up and start, doing more to help get, more people out to these venues again so they can, they're making their money as well as, we're making money as well. And we're trying to, you know, keep basically keep what scene is here, alive and going for the most part, with everything that's happened in the last, 3 to 5 years with global events.
And even speaking of that, the place we're having the show at the Foundry, we might be one of the last bands playing at the current location that they've been at for like years, because they are actually moving, I think, at the beginning of next year. Um, Not
You,
sure if
you
it's a
guys
good,
should try to film that show.
yeah, that's an idea. I
Oh, that
think we
would be a
got,
cool idea. Yeah.
Our friend
that's,
Andy is
that's
offered
what I'm
to
saying.
take
Yeah.
some videos, some
Yeah.
4K video. So we'll have some footage. We'll have to try and actually release it. I think we mostly just hoard it now. We should probably try and put something together and share it out for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So I know for people to follow the band, I know you guys. I'm following you on Instagram, anywhere else. I think you're on Instagram, Facebook. Where else can people follow the band if they wanna, keep updated with Druparia?
We're on Bandcamp as well. I think we got a
Yeah.
YouTube channel
I'm
too.
gonna I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we do.
put the link to Bandcamp because I think it's the best one for you to get paid
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
for records. So I put the link for Bandcamp because Bandcamp is good to for bands. So you're on Bandcamp, you're all that.
Mhm.
I know you're not on. Do you have a YouTube channel right
We
now or?
do. We have a
Mhm.
YouTube channel. On it, there's actually a couple videos of us playing live, and I think those videos are at the Foundry. I think they're from like 2022. And then we also have a lyric video for Bereavement, which came out alongside the EP that we did. So we do have a YouTube channel.
What's the name of
Mhm.
the YouTube channel?
I think it's Druparia Official or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I'll post I'll tag the band so people can follow the band. So you guys are like having different tastes, like because you said that there you would like have a fight with like songs for cover. Like so, my question for everyone is like, which song would you like to cover in this band? So let's start
Let's
with Noah.
start
If
the
you have
fight.
a like Noah, what cover song would you like to do? Like American Idiot by Green Day?
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
that would be funny. I brought this up last night at band practice and got shot down immediately by everyone but Josh, but I said that we should cover Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
I'd be down.
That's a great track.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You know what's
No.
funny? That the younger generation now are embracing Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
Uh,
Limp Bizkit's
and
huge now.
Creed. Like it's
Yeah.
cool now to like
Yep.
Creed.
Yeah.
Creed was always cool, all right?
I saw Creed in 2010 in Puerto Rico and they were great. And you know what? Their guitar player, Mark Tremonti, is a great
Fantastic.
guitar player.
Yeah. His other brand,
I'm
Alter
like
Bridge,
people
is
when
great
people
too.
talk shit about him, listen to him, his guitar playing in Alter Bridge, and he's got a solo band called Tremonti.
Great stuff. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Like I don't know, I can't understand the shit. So
Yeah.
you
And
should
even
Yeah.
go out, so break stuff. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yep. Another really good one, which we've talked about before, is Holy Wars by Megadeth, because I think we're all into Megadeth pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great track. That classic track.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so what about you, Tyler?
So I don't know. I guess I'm of the opinion that I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like if you're in a original band, I'm not a big fan of like playing like huge songs that people like that just everybody like I don't know. I'm just again, this is where we get into fights because no one agrees on this.
Mainly Dave.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, David also just dislikes like 90% of
Yeah.
everything out there.
It's a running
Uh,
joke.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Megadeth cover. I just wasn't a huge fan of the Holy Wars, even though it's like my favorite song of theirs. But like I liked the song My Last Words. It was like the closer on Peace Sells. I also there's like I think me and Noah jam on the title track Rust in Peace of Bon
Yeah, we've
Sciotti
played
for
it
one.
before.
Um, I think Take No Prisoners was another one too we were talking about.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I don't know. I think any of those would be cool. But I like the idea of. I mean, uh, I really dug what we did with the Civil Wars cover, where we kind of just took it from, it's a totally not metal track at all, and
It's
then
a country song.
yeah, like make it into it's almost a sort of like weird folky
I'll gotta
lullaby kind
listen
of
to the
song.
country song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an instrumental that just is this weird like it's almost like a lullaby, like literally. And but for some reason, it just when I heard it, I kind of almost heard it as like I was like, oh, this could be like a cool black metal kind of song, I don't know, or type song or whatever. And
I
I'm a
didn't
fan of that. Like,
realize
yeah,
I didn't realize it was actually a cover until you told me, because when we were in the studio, he brought that song out like the very last to me, and we were already in the studio, and I didn't know it was a cover, so I was like, all right, I'll just listen to it and then improvise the whole thing. So that whole track for me is improvised. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's a cover of a song, by the way. And I'm like, I thought you wrote it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No,
that's
that was cool.
that's funny.
But
What about you, Josh?
My opinion on covers is they should be either something that's perfect for your band to cover or something that's absolutely ridiculous for your band to cover. And I'm a little bit older than everybody else. I'm the grandpa of the band, but I know that kind of another common thread and one of the bands that got Tyler into music is Linkin Park. And I think it would be really off the wall and bonkers if we did like Paper Cut by Linkin Park.
Yeah, that's a good one. Just
Yeah.
not anything from the new album.
Yeah. Kind of with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
hate it, but hey, yeah.
I didn't hate it either, but I would definitely rather cover Paper Cut.
yeah,
I
no.
think if there was a way to change, like make it kind of sound like almost kind of like with the Civil Wars, where it was like a song that sounded like we could have wrote it. If we
Yeah.
could change it in a way that would sound like that, that could be cool. But
We could
sounds
do it
like a
with
lot of
pinch
work.
harmonics. Unfortunately, David hates pinch harmonics, so he's not a big Zach Wild fan. I am, but he's not.
Nice. What about you, Kyle?
Well, I have one that I've been kind of pushing Tyler and to work on in his spare time, and that would be Veterans of the Psychic Wars by
Keep
Blue
forgetting
Oyster
about
Cult.
that.
Like
Well,
who?
I
now's
was
a
a
good
fan of
time to
that.
remember.
Yeah, I was a fan of that one. Yeah.
And the other one would be for me would be Over the Wall by Testament. I mean, that song just goes so hard from start to finish. Like, I mean, since we have like a lot of thrash influences,
Yeah.
I think that'd be like a perfect, cover song as well, and also the Megadeth stuff would be cool too. But yeah, those are the two main ones for me would be, Veterans of the Psychic Wars by BOC and then Over the Wall by Testament.
Yeah.
I'll Stay Over the Wall
Cool.
is one of my favorite songs as well too. So
Cool ones. Yeah, Testament is a very underrated thrash metal band.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
They're very
100%.
good.
It's the first show I ever
I
saw
saw
back in
them live
2009.
here in Puerto Rico. I saw them, I think, back in 2008 when they had like that second wind when they released like that Formation of the Nation.
Yeah, that was the tour. That was the first show. Their show in Cleveland there for that tour was the first metal show I ever saw. So they had
Yeah.
I think it was like Unearth and Lazarus AD was
Nice.
touring with them or something. It was a great show.
Awesome. So obviously, the 27th, you release the album. You have the album release party show. After that, what's next for Druparia?
Good question. Hopefully playing shows and booking shows and stuff. And I don't know. I'd like to try to get, I don't want to take 6 years or 5 years to write another album. So maybe
Yeah,
work on
he's
that a
already
little
got
bit.
he's already got several new songs written that some of us are dragging behind and learning, but
Yeah, working on new material,
yeah.
definitely. Like, there's a couple songs in the works that we've been practicing for like the past year, just kind of timidly. And I think after the album releases, we're gonna switch gears and try to start working on a lot of new stuff.
Mhm.
No sophomore slump. I think most of my favorite bands, their second album is my favorite album from them, so hopefully we'll fit the mold there.
Yeah,
David, our singer, is actually he plays a little bit of guitar and he's actually writing some songs on this one. And I gotta say, I think they're like some of the songs he's working on, I think are like probably some of the best we've had like ever. So uh so for people to hear those.
That sounds cool. So, guys, it's been great chatting with you. I'm glad I got to
Yes.
listen to this album and giving it some exposure so people know that there's still new music coming out in December. Uh, Druparia, the album is going to be out December the 27th, is self-released. So I'm going to post the link for people who want to buy the River Above. So I would recommend it to people who like death metal, like we mentioned In Flames, we mentioned all Morse, Principium Est, like Insomnium, like what else? All those type of bands.
Mhm.
Like if you like that
Yeah.
melodic death metal, listen to Duparia and give them a chance. So anything you like to say to the people before we go tonight?
Just thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us the time. And we appreciate you for putting us on here. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a
So
lot.
Thank you.
this is I think the first it feels like a first real interview that I've ever done, at least. So it's a pretty cool experience, and I personally have really enjoyed chatting with you guys here tonight about everything. And yeah, thank you to everyone that's left kind words about the album so far. Like we've really taken it to stride.
Awesome. So, guys, thank you for, taking some time of your night to chat with me. I really enjoyed it. So, Couchers, the album out the 27th, check them out. I'll post the link. So, until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.